All right, everybody. Hey, we're live. Guys, it's football week.
You're muted, Dean.
Huh? What's that? I didn't hear you.
He said you're muted, but you aren't.
I'm not muted, am I? Can you hear me?
No.
Paul, can you hear me?
Yeah. Paul must be muted.
Paul, you must have
I'm not
muted
muted.
yourself. Let me look.
I just
Okay.
can't hear Dean.
I can hear him. Do a sound check and see if he can hear you.
I'm talking right now. You can't hear me?
But you can hear me?
I can hear you. Paul, did you check your microphone to make sure you didn't mute yourself? I don't know how to tell him that.
Did you check to make sure you're not muted? I can be a translator.
Can he hear you?
Yes. He's checking, I think. He's not responding, though.
Okay, he's going back out. Okay, we'll see. Maybe he'll come in. It'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. While we're waiting for Paul, you guys made it. It's football week. We're here. Our guest is not here yet, so we decided to start, and we're going to work around him, and hopefully he will be here shortly, and then we can go back and cover. Okay. Paul's here. Okay, let's bring him on. Paul's here twice. Paul, you got to get the other one out of there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to get this other one out of here if I can.
All right.
And it's no big deal if that screen... There we go. Perfect.
There we go.
Can you hear both of us?
I can.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so as I'm saying, our guest is running late, it looks like, and so we're going to work around him until he gets here. It's football week. It's football. We're here for football, and I can't wait for Saturday. I just wish the game was earlier in the day because I don't like waiting around all day for the kickoff when everybody else is starting their games on Thursday and Friday and early Saturday.
It just means I get to watch more ball. So
yeah, there you go.
I have no complaints. So.
All righty. Well, yeah, and the funny thing is about it is this is basically a night game. And so it's crazy to think that Albany would be a night game. Can't we save that for Penn State and Oregon?
Well, it's all because of TV. So
okay. Anyway, let me take care of some business before we move on. Okay.
Yep.
I appreciate you guys that are watching already. Thank you. Appreciate it. Guys, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's right there in front of you. Oh, and Rodger is here. Let's bring him on. Rodger, you made it. Rodger can't hear me. Let me see if he's muted. He's muted.
There we go.
There you go. Rodger, can you hear us? Okay.
I can see Rodger. I cannot hear him.
I can't hear. Can you hear? Talk and say so. I can't hear you.
Yeah, 1 2 1 2. Hello, guys.
Go.
Hello.
There you go.
Hear him? Can you guys hear him?
Yeah,
I hear him.
Yeah,
now.
I can hear you guys just fine.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to God's country.
Well, I can't wait to get to God's country. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you're very welcome.
We leave on the charter flight leaves here Friday at noon.
Excellent.
Man, you guys not giving the team's not giving themselves much time to get ready, are they?
I mean, it's an hour. We're an hour behind, so I think it's a 2-hour flight.
Yeah, that's no big. That's no big deal. So.
Okay. Well, Rodger, welcome for everybody else this is the play-by-play man who has been play-by-play, I'm going to guess, since 2007 when they had their first football game?
Yeah, it's been 30 years for me total, yeah.
30 years total?
It goes back to when, Bob Ford was the coach here for 44 years, and they played in the NEC. Bob got them into the CAA for 1 year, and then they hired Greg Gattuso, and he was here for 11. He went to Penn State, made that move in March, and they hired Jared Ambrose as the interim head coach. He was the offensive coordinator here for the last few years.
So you're familiar with long tenured coaches.
Oh yeah, I mean, Coach Ford, legendary. I mean, his name well known around the country in a lot of coaching ranks. So for sure, and I think they might have been a little caught off guard with Coach Gattuso leaving, but James Franklin at Penn State, I think, was calling early and often and really wanted Greg to come back and coach the defense. He's a defensive analyst at Penn State, and that was great. That's Greg Gattuso's alma mater, and it's where he won a national championship back in 1982. So he's happy with the move. I
think I read where you've been at your job for either 36 or 39 years.
Yeah, I'm old, guys.
And you're a Penn State graduate.
Yeah, so I've been in. This is August is my 39th year at WNYT. It's the NBC affiliate. I moved up here in the summer of 1986, and I was on a 5-year plan to stay here and then leave and go somewhere else. But 39 years later, I'm still here.
Hey, I just got a question for you. Can New York City see your broadcast? From your
not New York City. We did not reach that far. No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not literate in that because I have not been in that part of the country ever. I mean, one day I would like to go and see the Statue of Liberty and then stop by and check out the memorial. But
how bad Rodger people are about geography in the world. People think that the whole state of New York is New York City. New York stretches. New York
in America.
The state of New York stretches so far east to west. People can't believe how short a drive it is to Ohio from western New York.
Well, I can be in New York City in 3 hours.
Well,
Albany's the capital. We're about 3 hours from New York City. Although, if you're a Yankee fan, I can make it from Albany to Yankee Stadium in, 2 hours and 40 minutes.
So you're a Yankee fan then?
No, I'm from Pennsylvania. I hate to say it, but I'm a Pittsburgh Pirate fan.
Oh, okay.
Well, they're the right colors.
You and Kirk Ferentz have a lot in common. He's a big Pirate fan, and he was a big Penn State fan growing up. So
yeah, I mean, I grew up in Altoona, Pennsylvania, about 30 miles from State College. So for us growing up, it was big time high school football on a Friday night, Penn State on Saturdays, and the Steelers on Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, Albany is the capital of New York. Iowa City at one time was the capital of Iowa.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. A little geography lesson right there. Well, I know one thing. We did have Iowa on our radar. As the sports director, Fran McCaffrey was a very big name here in Albany for years. I mean, he had a great run at Siena College before he left to go to Iowa. So we always kept track of Iowa and his teams because Fran had a pretty big fan base when he was coaching in the Capital Region.
The all-time winningest coach in Iowa basketball.
Yeah. Somebody would still have to explain to me what exactly happened.
It was all because of attendance. People got, for some reason, we were down to 4,000 people a game when we usually are 15,000, and donors, and that's why Fran ain't here. So
that makes sense. It always comes
money.
Down to
you can't only have 4,000 people at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
All right. Well, guys,
and I guess
it's
ready to
football.
roll.
Let's take care and let's do this. It's football season. It's first game for both teams. Let's preview the game. Okay, let's do it. First of all, I just like to know a little bit about what we can expect. I mean, Kirk mentioned in his press conference this morning that he expects the same, even though you have a temporary coach or an interim coach, he expects the same scheme that they've seen on film.
I would say that's accurate because the coaching staff. I mean, Greg left, but Jared was on the staff, and Jared kept the rest of the staff. No one left. So the staff that has been here the last several years is still intact.
Okay. All right. And the other thing too is who can we expect to like play quarterback, running back? Because talk to us like we don't know anything about your team.
Yeah, well, it's with the portal, things do change. So the quarterback situation, obviously the big one, and a senior named Jack Shields will start at quarterback. He came from Buffalo, where he started a few games over a couple of years. He did not get a lot of playing time. He originally started at Old Dominion, and that's how he has a relationship with Jared Ambrose, because Ambrose was at Old Dominion before he came to Albany. So he's a senior with not a ton of experience, but we had our starting quarterback who was a freshman at the end of last year. Van Weber tore his ACL in spring, and Jared had to go to the portal and bring in a bunch of quarterbacks, and we had 6 quarterbacks competing for the starting job. And about a week ago, Jared named Jack Shields the starter for the Iowa game.
Didn't they have 2 transfer quarterbacks, like one from North Carolina too, or something, competing?
Yeah, we had all kids from the portal that were competing for the most part, and Jack has a little. He knows Reese Poffenbarger, who quarterbacked ALbany 2 years ago. He's got a little bit of his style in him, meaning he scrambles a little bit out of the pocket. He throws a really good ball. Plays with a lot of confidence. So I think here in Albany, we're like, if he's kind of like Reese Poffenbarger. Reese Poffenbarger 2 years ago led ALbany to the CAA co-champions and to the Final Four of the FCS, and then ended up transferring to Miami.
Yeah, you guys are very, our quarterback Gronowski.
We do.
From playing him in the semifinals or something a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah. Yep. And then Caden Birdie will be our top receiver. He's been here for a few years. He's a captain and a veteran. JoJo Uga at running back. It was a freshman last year, had a really good freshman year. Griffin Woodell was the rookie of the year in the CAA conference a couple of years ago, and then was injured for most of last year and was dinged up, but he came to camp 100% healthy. And there, I would say running back is probably the strength of our team, but there is major concerns up front on the O-line because of the portal and guys who left, and you're trying to replace some of those players who were really good that went to the next level. So I think offensive line has been a work in progress in the preseason. Defense will absolutely be the strength of this team. We're very solid defensively up front with the pass rush, in the secondary. Billy Nessel's the defensive coordinator, and we will be pretty sound defensively.
Okay. So
what
you're
concerns do you have coming into the game?
What's that now?
What concerns do you have coming into the game?
O-line.
O-line.
Yeah, I would think if there's one concern throughout camp, it would be the development of the offensive line. There's some new players up there. There's a freshman up there. One of the bright spots last year probably was offensive line, and we ended up losing a couple of starters to the portal and to the next level and to NIL and all that stuff that goes on in college athletics these days. And we'll see. It might be a little bit of a work in progress. So that would certainly be a concern.
Do some of these young guys have good size though, or?
Yeah, we're fairly big up front. Yeah, I mean, I think we have some guys up front that are big. We just have some inexperienced guys. That is a problem.
Yeah,
especially going Iowa opener season's not an easy opener. Although Albany, we've played money games at Baylor and Pitt and Syracuse the last several years. We usually open up with a fairly tough opponent.
Yeah, Iowa's kind of used to having FCS opponents, and I don't know if you know that, but we faced our own Gronowski a few years back when he was starting for South Dakota State, and we beat them 7-3, but we didn't score a touchdown. It was 2 safeties and a field goal. So they were a stout defense for themselves, but we pretty much had Gronowski stifled all game. He couldn't do much. But,
I mean, what are the expectations for Iowa? You're not in the top 25, correct?
correct. We're 33.
No. Okay. But we regularly win 8 games every year. You probably know quite a little bit about Iowa. Winning program, and
No doubt.
I seen the Vegas odds have us as like a 38-point favorite. I don't know if we'll cover that, but
that's a lot. But yeah, I mean,
but we got a good team. We got a good. I'm just telling you, as Iowa people, we got a good team this year. So we should be much improved offensively. So
Everybody's got. Go ahead.
I mean, I think that, again, for us, it's going to be relying on the defense to make some plays and to get some stops and control the game a little bit. We'll see what we can do offensively. But, you've got a quarterback in there that does not have a lot of starts over his career. And he's a senior. So
you got to limit to stay close. To stay close, you got to limit your turnovers and get Iowa to turn the ball over, right?
That would be a great formula right there for you, Albany. There's no doubt about that. Ambrose would sign up for that. And Jared was in a tough spot this year too, because when Greg left, it was right at the signing period. So Jared really, I call him the head coach, but if you look up in the program, it'll say, or on the website, they have him listed as interim head coach because they didn't do a search for a head coach. By the way, he's an excellent coach, and I think he's going to do a great job, and I think he'll get a long-term contract to be here. But as of right now, he's an interim coach, hoping to put together a really solid season and get an extension to this 1-year deal.
So,
and you guys are in a pretty good conference, aren't you? Isn't that where Kirk Cignetti came from, or?
So the CAA is, I mean, it's really good football. I mean, you're talking Villanova, Richmond, this year Rhode Island's picked up there, Stony Brook, New Hampshire. Albany has been a solid program. Not coming off a good year last year. Albany had a great year 2 years ago, and then honestly, so many kids went to the portal that it was like starting all over. Literally starting all over.
We had a pretty good running back a few years ago transfer to Stony Brook named Marcus Coker. He ran for a couple hundred yards in a bowl game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 14 years ago. But
Stony Brook has been down, but I think they have they've been picked in the top 5 in the preseason polls. Albany's picked 12 out of 14 teams preseason, but that's based on preseason polls are based on what you did a year ago, and it wasn't a great season last year, so thus the 12th pick out of 14 teams.
Thank you for saying that, because so many people, I've been trying to tell people that what people's expectation of you this year is based on what you did last year, and nobody looks to see what you got. So that's the reason why I think polls shouldn't even come out until the 1st of November. Yeah. But anyhow.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, look, for me as a guy doing the play-by-play, I still have some homework to do here. I mean, we lost a lot of players, and we brought some back from a year ago, but there's a lot of new at Albany this year, including the starting quarterback. And, that's the guy that makes your team go. People ask, how will Albany be? Well, let's start with the quarterback and see how he performs here early on in the season. That'll tell me a lot.
But you're saying that you're good at pretty much all 3 levels at defense, right?
I
Linebackers,
think,
secondary, and line.
yeah. I would again going up against Iowa. That's a different game. But when you get like after Iowa, we play at Delaware State. Then we're home against New Haven. They were Division II school last year. That will be Division I this year. And we play Cornell, and then we dive into the conference schedule. So I think ALbany is looking all right. We're gonna go out there, hang in there, try to compete at Iowa. Don't get anybody injured. And then rattle off 3 wins in a row and get ready to see what you can do with your conference schedule.
Is Delaware State the school where his brother's coaching yet or not?
I don't know.
The answer. Ambrose's dad was a coach, and then the 2 boys went into coaching, and your coach's brother was the coach at Delaware, head coach at Delaware for a while, and I think your head coach came from Delaware, was at Delaware for a little bit, but
he was. So that might be the connection. I haven't gotten that far yet, but we do play at Delaware State in week 2.
Yeah.
Well, I did some of your background work for you.
Yes, you did, and I thank you for that.
And then my other question: do you still have the energetic yellow lab that's in your bio?
So. No, I don't. Unfortunately, that yellow lab we did have to put down a few years ago. Now I have a golden doodle. Yeah. I have a golden doodle that's about 7 years old. So they need to update my bio.
Yeah. I've got 2 golden doodles, and one of them is very, very active, but they're both about 3 years old.
Well, they don't shed. That's the beautiful thing. What is that?
Yep.
Hyperallergenic or whatever the terminology is. They don't shed, and my yellow lab shed everywhere. I couldn't put a suit on to go to work, and it was not good. But this dog is great.
Awesome.
We love the golden doodles.
Okay, well, Rodger,
so let me ask you a question. Where are we going to? Once we get checked into whatever hotel we're at, where are we going on Friday night for a nice dinner out and some drinks?
There's plenty of good food in Iowa. If you like steak.
Love steak.
You're probably going to wind up at the Iowa River Power.
Yeah, I believe that. Don't tell him that, because that place went closed.
Oh.
But you'll find plenty of places. Yeah. You'll find plenty of places, and I'm sure I was very famous for how friendly we are, and I'm sure that the Iowa athletic department will have your sports information people, loaded with suggestions if they want it. So.
Well, here's what I heard today from one of our coaches, and you guys can verify this for me. They told me today at practice, one of the coaches said, and we were standing at Casey Stadium here in Albany on the sidelines, and it's a rather big sideline. And one of the coaches said to me, just so you know, the Iowa sideline is not big at all. You turn around, and a guy is drinking a beer in the stands right behind you. Is that true?
That is very true.
And they will know all the girlfriends of all the players and their mothers. They are not, if it's you're not a rival, maybe the game won't stay close very long, but they're not terribly nice people sometimes.
I had the privilege of filming for KWWL TV in Waterloo, one of Hayden Fry's first games against Indiana, and I was on that sideline, and I did not realize how narrow it was, nor did I realize how big those boys were, because I got ran over a few times trying to get some decent footage.
They can reach out and touch your back.
They absolutely can.
If you're a player.
Yeah.
So. Now, I have a great deal of respect for Iowa football. I'm a Big Ten guy, Penn State guy, so I've been following the Big Ten, and Iowa's just usually well coached, and which one of you said, they're just a good program year in and year out. 8 wins every year. Now I'm a Penn State guy, and I'm about tired of 10-2 and not winning a national championship. So James Franklin needs to get that done this year, and he's got a great team to do it.
Oh,
so
great!
I know this isn't a Penn State podcast, but is there a possibility with all the talent and stuff that he could get run out of town, or were just people just yell and scream a lot?
Well, I'll help run him out of town. I'll yell and scream, that's for sure, as a fan. But I know from the Penn State faithful and that they are frustrated with not winning a national championship under Franklin and always losing to Ohio. They're tired of losing to Ohio State and Michigan, and especially Ohio State. So I mean, they were able to bring most of their players back. The quarterback Drew Aller comes back this year, and he made one of the worst passes I've ever seen in a football game against Notre Dame. So he needs to redeem himself. And my buddy Greg Gattuso, who's the coach here at ALbany, tells me that they probably have 10, 11 guys on that team this year that are going to get drafted in the NFL draft. So and they got a lot of fifth-year seniors. This should be Penn State's year. It really should. And
they have two great transfer wide receivers, which they didn't really have the wide receivers last year.
Correct.
And it's just ridiculous the talent they got this year.
Yeah, so. I mean, that was the one position they needed to upgrade, and they did. And you know, the schedule is so soft for the first 3 games. It'll be. I mean, you talk about what'd you say? Iowa's a 30-some point favorite, and Penn State plays Nevada in week 1, and they're a 44.5 point favorite, I believe, at Beaver Stadium.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the reasons why Iowa was only a 38-point favorite in this game, and this is not to put down Albany, but Kirk Ferentz doesn't normally let his guys run up the score. After they get to 2 or 3 score lead, they're just going to sit on the ball and punt it.
Well, that's good. Work the clock so we can get back to the airport and get that charter flight going back, because we're leaving right after the game.
Okay. So hey, I just wanted to say, somebody put up here that the Hamburg Inn in Iowa City is a good place for breakfast. And perfect. Yeah. And also, I listened to a podcast earlier the last couple of days. Tom Kakert said that he was trying to touch base with you to do an interview with you too. I don't know if you have done that, but Tom Kakert can tell you all the good places because he practically lives there.
Well, you tell Tom. Somebody else reached out to me. They do a sports talk show, and we were trying to coordinate, because I also do a sports talk show here in Albany from 10 to 1 Eastern, and then I'm TV in the afternoon, and at night I've got actually a 9 o'clock news coming up here in a half hour, and I'm sitting at a Little League baseball field right now. I'm the president of Colony Little League Baseball, believe it or not. I'm not sure why, but
do you have set up a pre-game interview with the Iowa coach for like a pre-game show or anything?
No, I do not. We do not have.
Oh, they usually do that. They usually do that.
No, we don't. I need to get to the stadium when I get there because of my TV responsibilities. The TV station in Albany wants me to send back a story, so I like to do it from the stadium once we get organized on Saturday or on Friday before the game.
Oh, that's great.
Paul has a question.
I've been trying to get this one in. So, at Iowa, at Kinnick, we have maybe one of the best traditions in all of college football, the wave. Are you going to participate from the press box? Does Albany have any kind of special game day traditions?
So the answer is absolutely going to wave. I've heard all about that tradition. I've seen it, and now are you kidding me? I get a chance to participate in that. That's one of the things I'm most looking forward to be honest with you, on Saturday. Albany, in terms of, I mean, they have probably the normal nights that some of these colleges have, like our military night, military appreciation night is really a big deal, and we put the logos and names on the back of our players' helmets. So that one comes to mind that we do every year. That's pretty popular at Albany.
Nice. And have you heard about the pink locker room?
I have not.
Okay. Well, I'm going to guess that you'll probably visit the visitors' locker room. It is pink, and it's not a little pink. There's not some pink spots on it from the carpet to the ceiling, the urinals. Everything is pink.
All right.
You cannot
Well,
escape it.
okay. Well, now that I know I'm sure I'm definitely going to want to see this. Maybe I'll make that maybe I'll make the pink locker room part of my my pregame story that I send back to the Capital Region.
They would love that. Hey,
It's a very famous locker room. Hayden Fry was our coach for 20 years, and
I
Kirk's
know the name.
probably gonna go for 30 years. And anyway, Kirk Hayden was a psychology major, and he said that pink was a docile color.
Okay. Well, I tell you what.
The main reason Hayden did that is he wants the other coach to think about it.
Yeah.
You know, some coaches come in and try covering it up with paper and everything to throw their game off. But anyway,
Hayden Fry seemed like just an awesome guy. Is that true? Is Hayden Fry a class act?
He is.
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah.
But he was he was just a good old Texan. You know, and the nicest guy. Kirk's the nicest guy you ever met. If you ever interviewed him, he's a Western Pennsylvania guy. You guys would talk about Pirates and the Steelers and Penn State University. So, but yeah, Hayden was a great guy. But.
Yeah, I always thought he was a great coach, and he came across from afar as a classy guy. So I'm glad.
But he would run the score up. He would run the score up on if he played you, he'd score 75 points. Kirk will aim for 38. You know. But.
Good to know. Duly noted.
All right. Jason Hackwell has had a question here for a while, and I haven't been able to ask it. Okay. He wants to know, does Levi Kulik have a chance to play this year? I don't know if I hit the name right.
Is he related to Drake?
I wish I knew the answer to that, but I honestly do not know.
The Kuliks were from Muscatine, Iowa, if it's the same Kulik. Anyway.
Okay. What position are we talking about there?
I don't know. He didn't say.
I don't know. I've done my 2 deep, and I don't see his name coming up on the 2 deep, but that doesn't mean he's not on the roster or not on special teams.
One interesting thing I dug up was like 3 years ago, Jared Verse was playing for you guys.
Oh my goodness!
He transferred to Florida State, and then he was almost like a rookie of the year for the Rams last year.
Well, yeah, because I'm doing games, right, and I'm in the booth, and I'm saying to my broadcast partner, nobody can block Jared Verse. No one can block him. What is he even doing in the CAA conference? And I remember saying that to Greg Gattuso because he recruited him, and no one else was recruiting him coming out of high school in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Greg's like, I know, a total steal. No one was really recruiting him. And yeah, now you look what Jared Verse has turned out to be. But yeah, I had a pleasure of calling his games for a couple of years, and he was nothing but, a sack machine in the CAA. He was just running over people.
Well, he's the same thing in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we love the connection. We give Jared Verse a lot of love here. A lot of love.
Yeah. I got a question. I got the answer. He's a freshman quarterback.
Okay. So I don't think, I would say the answer is no. I don't even think he's not the 2 or 3. So he must be down below that, but maybe he's got a promising future because look, Jack Shields is a senior. So
yeah. How many freshman quarterback would even have the offense down pat yet?
Yeah, it'd probably be difficult. I'm just hoping my kid makes the travel team out in Ithaca. He's a freshman there this year. We're in Ithaca, the Bombers.
Okay.
So
I have another thing for you, Rodger. You said you were going to look to do a TV spot.
Yeah.
About 45 minutes from Iowa City is Dyersville, which is the Field of Dreams. And I'm sure you've seen the movie.
Oh, I have.
Yeah. And so that original set, the cornfield baseball, it's still there. So maybe
Wow.
you consider doing your story from there.
That would be a great idea. And you say, how far is that? You said 45 minutes?
Roughly 45 minutes from Iowa City.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a fantastic idea.
And Cedar Rapids, where you're flying into, is much closer. So.
That's true.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, we're going to have options. It'll be a quick trip, and really from the ALbany standpoint, you just hope that, in these kind of games you can compete a little bit and make it a little bit interesting and not get steamrolled right away and make it a
Well,
little bit of a game. And the key is nobody gets hurt. And you collect your paycheck for your athletic department, and you move on with the rest of your season.
short of you guys just turning the ball over and doing a lot of silly stuff, our style of play, just like Dean was saying, we're going to put up 35, 38 points. And at that point, you're going to see our backups in there. So we just don't, it's not in our DNA to, embarrass people.
Well, that's good to hear. I think, and again, if our offensive line can, be respectable and hold up a little bit, I do think we have good running backs and we have a good tight end. Receiving core is I think very good, and I just don't know what to tell you about our quarterback because I've not seen him. He's brand new. He is a senior. He hasn't started many games, and how's he going to handle the pressure playing in a game on the road at Iowa to open up the season? We're about to find out.
I can tell you one thing about your quarterback. This is the best defensive line Iowa's had. We've had a bunch of good defensive lines, but our defensive line's incredible this year. Get some life insurance on him, will you?
I was going to say, so here's the deal, gentlemen. If you're telling me that you've got the best defensive line, and I'm telling you, if there's any concerns going into the season, would be the ALbany offensive line. Oh boy, what are we going to have here on
All right,
Saturday?
that's what I'm warning you about. Please tell the kids' parents, that, and I'm just being honest with you, We had AJ Epinesa that plays for the Buffalo Bills, and we got his little brother who won't even play, and he's like a 5-star.
That's amazing.
We're kind of loaded on defensive line. The rest of our defense is questionable coming in, but we have a top 20 defense every year with Phil Parker, our defensive coordinator. But
something tells me that Jared Ambrose knows what you're saying. He probably knows after watching the film.
Oh, of course he does. But we got 2 transfers came in and a bunch of young guys that are blossoming, and I'm just telling you. So
I appreciate that.
As a humanitarian.
So. Well, thank you very much for that helpful information as we head your way.
Great. Hey, what was the name of that starting quarterback again?
His name is Jack Shields.
Okay, Jack Shields.
From Virginia. We're number 3.
Okay. Well, I had heard, listening to one of the other podcasts yesterday while I was driving, because I had to drive a lot yesterday. I heard that he only attempted 24 passes in his career so far.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was at ODU in Buffalo, but again has not.
Is he a mobile guy?
He is. He is that. I think that's going to be. Yeah, he is a mobile guy, and a high football IQ. I hear, and I've seen him make really good throws. So if he has some time to throw the ball with that fierce defensive pass rush you guys have there, I know he throws a nice ball. And I talked to him today for a TV show that I do, the TV coaches show up here in Albany, and we tape our show tomorrow night at 7:00 at the TV station. And I was at practice today doing some interviews, and I did talk to Jack Shields really for the first time on camera, and I was impressed with his poise in front of the camera. I don't know how many interviews he's done on TV since he hasn't played in that many games, but he was very poised, and he did a nice job with the interview. I was impressed with him.
So, I'm sure you've talked with the coach, or he's had press conference already and everything. How's he feeling about the game? I mean, where's his, psychic at on that is?
Jared has really been very positive and upbeat since he took over the job. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's a first-year head coach, and one thing he has done is he's built some confidence with this team. I mean, it's a confident group. They practice confident. Everyone talks very confidently about how they're going to be this season, and the expectations they have in the conference, even though they're picked 12th out of 14 teams. I think that rubs a few of these players wrong. But Jared does have them believing that they can go to Iowa and compete at a high level and see what happens. So there's no, I will say this, there's no lack of confidence on the part of the University of Albany. They will take the field as a confident team. What the final score ends up being, I don't know, but they're coming in there confident that they can play well.
Okay. Well, Rodger, let's leave it right there. So, I know you said you had to get on TV here pretty quick, and I think we can, I think we've pretty much covered it all already, and I appreciate you coming on here.
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't
thank you.
mind having you on for our Penn State game in a few weeks.
This was a lot of
I
fun.
love that. I would be all over that. You let me know, and I'll be on. Absolutely, would love to join you.
Okay, sounds perfect.
I hope Albany goes like 15-1.
Boy, I would think that would be phenomenal. Jared Ambrose would sign up for that, and a nice long-term contract for the coach, right? I think honestly the goal for him is, like, forget the Iowa game, right? We know that's a big one to try and even think about winning, but the rest of it, can you string together 3, 4, 5 wins, and then maybe not even have to wait till the end of the season, and you reward Jared Ambrose with a new contract? How about that scenario?
Well, everything I read about the Ambrose family, I think you got a good guy. So
he's a great guy. He's a great guy, very much a family guy, as you're pointing out, and I think he's a good football coach. He was a really good offensive coordinator here. I think he would have, even if they would have opened this job up, guys, I think Jared would have been. They didn't open the job up because they really couldn't when Greg left. The timing wasn't great. But even if they did open the job up, I think Jared Ambrose would have gotten the job anyway. So I think they have the right coach, and I hope that they can string some wins together for him and he gets a contract extension.
Well, we sure are excited to kick this thing off, period. So.
Oh gosh, I mean, what a weekend, guys, for college football. I mean, not necessarily the line of our game or Penn State, Nevada, but I mean, you look at the rest of these, Texas and Ohio State and what is it, LSU, Clemson. I mean, we got another team that we follow closely that's about 2.5 hours from us is Syracuse. Yeah. And Fran Brown has done a hell of a job with Syracuse, and they're going to Tennessee on over the weekend, and I think they have a chance to knock off the Vols. To be honest with you,
are you aware that Kirk is trying to tie Woody Hayes as the all-time Big Ten winner this week?
I did read that in the game notes. I did read that. So, well, I'm sure he stands a pretty good chance.
Well, I hope you go 15-1, and you know which game I want you to lose. So
yeah, I hear you on that. Well, hopefully I get to meet some of you in person. I'll be in the visiting press box, obviously, and we usually get there close to when the team gets there, which is several hours. I like to walk on the field a little bit and see some of the sights and sounds, and then head up to the booth and get ready to rock and roll. But maybe I can meet some of you guys in person on Saturday. I would love it.
I will tell you this. When you get to Iowa, you will know it, because there's this uncanny thing that I'm a Navy veteran. I've been all over the country. What you will see there that's really unique, everybody wears Iowa stuff. It doesn't matter where you are in the state. Everybody wears something that says Iowa. And it's you just don't see that everywhere you go.
And everybody's going to be waving at you and welcoming you to Iowa. and everything except those fans right behind the bench talking to the coaches
The
and
ones
players.
that are literally much on the playing field, from what I
And
understand.
they're half drunk and
Of
all
course
that.
they are. Yeah, it's college football. There's nothing better. They got to do a little tailgating before the game. You got a big tailgating scene there at Iowa?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
They'll get started well, I guess for a night game, they won't get started at 6 or 7 in the morning, but
By
I'm
noon.
sure
You never
somebody
know.
will.
See, this is why we like a night game against Penn State, because we need our fans to be drinking all day and come into the stadium half crocked, and then they're so loud and noisy, it just throws the Penn State team off. I don't think we've had a night game with them in a long time.
Yeah.
I think the last time we did
I
it was
just wish the
15
Penn
for
State
sport.
team wouldn't show up. We might win, but
Well, listen, I covered Penn State in their national championship win under Joe Paterno, his first back in 1982. I was a Cub reporter in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and my beat was to cover the Nittany Lions. So I was in New Orleans when they beat Georgia and Herschel Walker in the Sugar Bowl.
Oh, wow.
And truth be told, it's a very true story. Probably shouldn't even tell it on a podcast, but I will anyway. I got thrown out of the press box.
Yes.
And
I would expect nothing less of you.
But let me tell you why. I was a very young reporter, and I'm claiming I didn't know any better, that there was no cheering in the press box. And when Penn State drove down the field and scored on their first drive, I went absolutely wild in the press box. And they had politely asked me to leave, and I did.
Was it politely? Was it really politely?
It was not that politely, but I did leave and watch the rest of the game walking around the corridor at in New Orleans. But I was a young kid. We had a great time on Bourbon Street after Penn State beat Georgia.
And you were in dreaded South SEC territory.
Yeah.
You're lucky you weren't lynched back then. So
well, and the thing was, I had a long drive back to Pennsylvania because the TV station I worked for, we didn't have a whole lot of money to be flying me. So it was me and the photographer driving 24 hours from Altoona, Pennsylvania to friggin' New Orleans to cover the Nittany Lions. That's what we did.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've been doing it a long time. I still love it. To me, there's not. I would watch college football over the NFL any day of the week.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yep.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
I'm in that mindset.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll be in front of the TV about 2:00 my time on Thursday watching Cincinnati and Nebraska, which I think is 2:30 my time. I'm out in California, by the way.
Okay.
So the only Iowa football game I'll be attending will be the USC one.
Well, guys, I'm going to run and do my TV hit, but I will tell everyone I had a great time doing this show. I know we've been on for about 45 minutes, and it feels like we had a nice conversation. So thank you for having me, and I can't wait to see you in Iowa, guys.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care. Thank you.
See you, bud. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
What a great guy.
And he's going to be on our Penn State pregame. So
Yeah. So, guys, hey, let me do our commercial break real quick
Mm-hmm.
before we move on to our next segment, because, guys, if you're out there watching, keep watching. We got a lot more stuff to go. All right, we are back, people. Football season. Man, that was a great interview, guys.
Yeah,
That was really good.
let's finish the podcast with even just as good a finish.
Yeah, let's do
It may be 3 hours long, but I'm up for it.
I'm bowing out, boy.
All righty. Okay. As usual, Kelvin's going to lead us in with some news of the week that he's conjured up. He's been all over the place looking for news and updates. And so, Kelvin, take it away.
Pretty easy to get news this week. So anyway, a couple 3 women's basketball things is we're expecting in about 2 weeks. If it's like last year, the women's basketball schedule should be posted about the middle of September. Another thing is the top 30 guard from New York, Gigi Battle, is going to visit for the UMass game. Her Final 4 are North Carolina State, Georgia, Indiana, and Iowa. I'm kind of edging that she'll go to North Carolina State or Indiana, but what do I know? And of course, in just a couple days, the great Volitsko, who is a top probably 3-4 recruit in the country. If she wouldn't have got hurt, she may be number 1 or 2, will be in Iowa City taking her final visit. And probably about a week later, she's going to announce. I'm saying it's going to be in Iowa. I thought it was interesting. Her little brother is like crazy over George Kittle, and I was hoping George Kittle doesn't have a game that he'd come back and sit with her little brother. But her little brother's got a football game, so he won't be coming. So
what about Kittle's in the middle of his preseason?
No, they played their last preseason game.
Yeah.
Oh, they're taking the week off now.
They had the roster cuts today all over the internet about some Hawkeyes getting cut and everything.
Well, can you tell us who those Hawkeyes were?
Well, there's a lot of them. Amir Smith-Marset got cut. Brandon Smith got cut. Elkins got cut for the long snapper for the Bears. Nick Jackson got cut. There's a lot of them. Kristen Welch got cut for the Packers, which was a crime. But a lot of these guys are going to end up with the same team they got cut from. There are just too many. I didn't write them all down because I have so much news anyway that.
Okay. All righty. I'll look it up in a little bit.
Dean will say I talk too much. So anyway, then there's a Deegan Rose, a high school quarterback from California, may be the guy we try to flip from Oregon State. That was in the news.
I think we're trying to flip somebody else from Wisconsin or something too.
Well, we're trying to flip a kid from the state of Illinois, quarterback who's committed to some smaller school, but I don't know which one we really want. The news this week in our commitments was Billy Wivolda, the great outside linebacker from Georgia that played so good on national TV. This week, Mississippi, Lane Kiffin offered him, and of course they'll want to buy him. And today, Michigan offered him.
Oh, wow.
But he has said that does not affect his commitment to Iowa. But time will tell.
We heard that before. We lost a quarterback. We heard a quarterback.
Yeah.
We lost him.
Yeah, we've also flipped other teams' guys to us,
right,
who became very famous. So we can't complain too much. Okay. What happens? Kids go where they want to, and Kirk, just goes on. Okay, the other football player is the wide receiver. Is his name Steckel or something from Wisconsin? Who everybody was complaining that Bud Meyer offered him a scholarship, and Bud Meyer don't know what he's doing. He has now Wisconsin wants him real bad and is trying to flip him over to Wisconsin, but he's given back of the hand to Wisconsin. And our other wide receiver from Florida had his second really good game in a row, DeAndre Smith. So things are kind of looking up, I think, there at wide receiver. More information. The future of college football appears to be that they're going to move the season up a week or two because of expanded playoffs. They might end up in a couple of years have a 24-team playoff, just like FCS has, and 9 conference games and 1 Power 4 non-conference is going to be the requirement for all teams. And the SEC has already announced, Vandy probably ain't real happy with it, but they have announced that they're going to 9 conference games next year, which is good news.
Yeah.
Cade Pieper, who has not started a game at Iowa yet this year. The NFL draft prospects came out. He's ranked as the top draft prospect on the Iowa team for next year's draft.
Oh, next year. Okay.
The upcoming draft.
Oh.
Here's a kid's only in his 3rd year, but the NFL knows all about him as a center.
So they have him ahead of Jennings Dunker?
Well, hell yes, they have him ahead of our starting center, Logan Jones. This kid is a freak. He's 6'4", which is taller. The only center we ever had was taller than him was James Daniels. This kid's better than James Daniels. He owns all the speed and jumping and lifting records for interior linemen. He's from Norfolk, Nebraska, which we'll see him play Albany. Anyway, they got him ranked the number 48 player.
Okay.
But I guarantee you he will not go because he's going to be a center. He's going to be our starting center next year, and he's going to realize that he can be a top 10 draft pick or higher if he stays one more year, and that's a lot of money compared to a second.
Tyler Linderbaum.
He's better. He's a better prospect, longer arms, taller, better athlete. And Ferentz has always said Linderbaum was the best center he ever coached, and that took in the Hilgenbergs and Jeff Nelson and, all them guys, James Daniels. Anyway, next thing. Coach Fitz got his settlement. Some people say he got $100 million from Northwestern. Some say $80 million. So now, of course, the rumors are that he'll come be an analyst at Iowa, maybe. But
that is the rumors, but I don't see that happening, at least not this year.
Well, no, it ain't going to be this year. The season's already started. But I think he'll end up being a head coach. Maybe at Wisconsin's my prediction. Wisconsin's going to need a coach, and Fitzgerald's a good coach. He's not the type of guy we're going to hire for our next coach. I guarantee you that. But
then we'll lose his son. His son will transfer to Wisconsin.
Maybe we'll lose a walk-on, and all these podcasters will say the sky is falling. Let's see. Oh, I thought Dolph had a great podcast this week where he interviewed Sheriff. It was interesting listening to Sheriff. He was a quarterback at Denison, and Reese Morgan, who is the most underrated coach in the history of the University of Iowa, pulled in there in a snowstorm, watched him play basketball, and told him they were going to offer him. And he broke the news to Sheriff that he was going to be an offensive tackle. And Sheriff said, I'd never played offensive line, but real quickly, the high school team his junior year made him a tight end. And his senior year, he actually played offensive line. It was fun. Reese Morgan was his offensive line coach at first. And he said, Reese Morgan coached me to play guard. And he said, the head coach, Kirk Ferentz, teaches you to play offensive tackle, how the pass pro blocking. And then by his last year, I think Brian Ferentz was his coach. And then he interviewed Bowlesby, and that was like fascinating. Bowlesby telling all the secrets about hiring coaches at Iowa and his relationship with Bump Elliott. And he said,
I'm going to have to go back and watch that one or listen to it.
I sent it to you a few days ago. And
you know my history with podcasts.
Whatever. Anyway, Bowlesby said, he said we had, I think it was Chuck Long, Don Patterson. Neither one of them had a chance in hell being the Iowa coach. Bob Stoops, Terry Allen, who didn't have much of a chance. Everybody said, oh, Bowlesby wanted to hire Allen, and then Kirk Ferentz was the fifth one. And there's a lot of rumors that are not true, but Bowlesby did say that Kirk was not our number one choice in the beginning. And he said
probably
that,
Stoops.
well, of course. But he said Hayden Fry really recommended Kirk Ferentz. And he said a lot of ex-players. See, Kirk had a much longer tenure in Iowa City than Bobby Stoops.
True.
And Kirk had a way better resume, And Bowlesby said Stoops bowed out before Ferentz had his interview the day before, said Oklahoma put the pressure on. And Bowlesby said it was a great move by Oklahoma to say, hey, you either take the job now or you're not going to get it. And they said we couldn't have, Kirk was already flying to Iowa City. You couldn't tell him, no, we're not going to have an interview. But he said when they had the interview with the committee hired, but Bowlesby said there was no question when we hired Kirk Ferentz that he was the best candidate that we interviewed. He was very much a leader and disciplined. And you could tell, even though he came from out east to begin with, he was all Iowa. He was an Iowa guy. And he had all these guys recommending him. Hayden Fry recommended him. Joe Moore recommended him. He coached under Belichick. He coached with Saban. Then the owner of the Baltimore Ravens, who was also the owner of the Cleveland Browns, recommended him. And then Ozzie Newsome, the famous general manager that built the Ravens, went with him from the only three guys that went from Cleveland to Baltimore with Art Modell when the team moved was Kirk Ferentz, Ozzie Newsome, and this Pioli guy who's working for Iowa now, the assistant general manager. Okay, on to the next thing. Of course, Campbell, the great coach at Iowa State University, he claims that he has the toughest schedule in the nation.
Apparently,
he doesn't.
Wisconsin.
Hey, he's playing a junior college schedule other than Iowa, so I don't understand that. But
because he thinks that the Big 12 is all that in a piece of cake.
Yeah, he's just saying that as talking points, trying to build up points with the college football playoff system, probably. But whatever. Then the Maryland AD today came out and said the Big Ten will expand to 20 teams by 2030. I think it'll be more than 20 teams, but
I was thinking, my original thought was, God, will I even be alive then? But then I realized that's only 5 years down the road. Guys, 2030 is only 5 years down the road.
And 2030, that means that Kirk will be down to his last 5 years of coaching at Iowa, because that's what somebody commented on the On Three Swarms thread today, that, hell, Kirk will he's only going to coach to 2035, I think, like that. So.
That would put him at 80 when he left.
Yeah. So much for all these people that thinks Kirk's going to retire after he breaks Woody's record. I heard that on a podcast this year. It was like,
well, you know what? I was one of those guys that said that if he broke it last year, he was out of here. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was wrong. I was really wrong. Kirk doesn't show any signs that he wants to give up and that he's ready to leave.
I think he's going to break the big the Big Ten win record, which will take like 4 or 5 years to break Woody's just in Big Ten conference wins. But I hate to be right all the time, Dean, but that's a joke. You know,
I know.
I told
I know.
everybody that Kirk is not retiring, you know, but anyway, then I thought it was interesting today. The reports out of Elon College, which is where Marco Linez went. They're saying that they think a different redshirt frosh quarterback, Landon Clark, has probably won the starting job over Marco, but Marco still has a chance, you know?
Who's the quarterback that transferred that's not going to play this year because he got hurt?
For who?
I don't know. He left us, and I don't know. Somebody's hurt.
Brandon Sullivan is out for 2 weeks.
Oh, I thought he was out for the season.
No. If that's the one you're talking about, he still has a shot. They call him the third string quarterback at Tulane right now, but he just can't take. He's a great competitor and everything. It's like Kirk said last year, he's too fragile, and he will not get down on the ground and avoid hits or run out of bounds. You know, that's one of the troubles.
We all saw on national TV how he got chewed out on the sidelines by Kirk for not doing that.
And then on Washed Up Walk-Ons, they put up a headline quoting Jay Higgins, and I just love this quote. It was after the Nebraska game last year when they wouldn't shake his hand and stuff. And he said, "We got Coach Kirk Ferentz, who makes 8-win seasons look easy to our fans." You know, nowadays people aren't happy with an 8-win season. You know, they call it mediocrity. You know, but anyway, I love that quote.
Guys, out here,
Kirk surprised the hell out of me today. He says,
Can you hold up for just a second? He was saying, Paul was saying something.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I might have to bow out. I'm kind of starting to fade out a little bit.
Oh.
Hey, Paul, if we go do our picks right now, can you go through them with us real quick? Then we can let you go?
Picks.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do our picks. Okay, guys?
Okay.
All right, the first one is Boise State at South Florida. Paul, give me your pick.
That's a long travel. I'll still take Boise State.
I'm with Paul.
Okay, and I also took Boise State. All right, Texas at Ohio State, guys. I took Ohio State. Kelvin, give me yours.
Texas big.
Okay. Paul.
I don't know how many times Ohio State has lost in the shoe, but it's not many. I will take Ohio State.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Notre Dame at Miami of Florida. Paul.
Puke. Notre Dame.
I'm with Paul. I think they got the best coach.
Yeah, and I also took Notre Dame. Miami of Ohio at Wisconsin. I threw this game out there because I thought Miami of Ohio had a chance, but I took Wisconsin anyway. Paul.
Whiskey.
Okay.
I said whiskey.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Wisconsin as well.
Had to give Wisconsin at least one win during the season.
Okay. Now this game was not on your list because it didn't show up on my list of things, but looking through my TV guide, I found it. Nebraska at Cincinnati. I took Nebraska. Kelvin, do you want to give me yours?
Nebraska.
Paul.
Yeah, the Huskers.
Okay. Syracuse at Tennessee. I actually took Syracuse. I agree with Paul.
That's going to be a lot of Rocky Top being played.
So Tennessee is what you're saying. Okay. Virginia Tech at South Carolina. I took South Carolina. Paul, give me yours.
Gamecocks.
Got it. Paul.
That's your nickname, Paul. I'm going with Gamecocks too.
Okay. Alabama at Florida State.
Alabama.
Just to be different, I'll take the Seminoles.
Okay. I can't, but that's an SEC game right off the bat, isn't it, guys? Is
Florida
Florida State
State's an ACC team.
Yeah.
okay, it's Florida.
Probably a future Big Ten team.
Okay. Utah at UCLA.
Wait, you didn't pick the Alabama Florida State game.
Oh, I took Bama.
Okay.
Okay. And how about Utah at UCLA? I did take Utah.
I'll take UCLA in that one. Why not?
Okay.
I'm taking UCLA to dominate the line of scrimmages.
Okay. Colorado State at Washington. I took Washington. Paul?
Huskies.
I think Washington may be a playoff team, so I'm taking Washington.
Okay. Did I hear him say that Clemson was at LSU this weekend? Because I didn't put that one down, but that would be a good one.
Those two teams, they're opening the season against each other, whether it's this week or what.
The game is at Clemson.
Okay. Okay, so LSU versus this. We're gonna have an extra pick tonight.
Yeah, good.
Okay, I'm gonna take Clemson. Paul? I got Clemson.
Death Valley at night. Clemson.
Yeah. Two of the top 4 Heisman candidates, the 2 quarterbacks tonight at that game. And I will take Clemson at home with Dabo.
That's right.
Okay, finally. I already know the answers to this, but you got to give me a score. ALbany at Iowa.
I guess I'll go. I'm going to take Iowa, and I'm going to say 38-7.
Kelvin.
I'll go with Iowa, and I'll go 58-6. And
Perfect.
Kirk is going to let up on the gas. Yeah. That's how bad it'll be.
Yeah. So here's the Paul and I actually got the same score, but I took 38-3 and he took 38-7. So we're both thinking that Kirk's going to be generous and take the foot off the gas in this game.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about
crash time score.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no doubt about it that Kirk will take it easy on a first-time coach, but I think it's going to be we'll just run the ball all day,
All righty. Paul, that's it. That's all I got.
All right.
I'll see you on Sunday, right?
Yes, sir.
All righty, guys. Paul's got to get out of here. He needs his rest. Bye, Paul.
Go Hawks, baby.
Yeah, you bet. Yep. Go Hawks. All righty. Kelvin. All righty, dude. So let's talk about the 2 deeps. I don't know how far we want to get into it, but I actually put a chart together and forgot to send it to me so that I could put it up here tonight. So we're going to have to do this off of my cell phone or off of yours.
I have the depth chart memorized pretty much. I don't have it written down.
All righty. Okay, so we're starting out at wide receiver. Are you surprised that Sam Phillips got the starting nod over Reese Vanderzee? Because I am.
I was surprised, but after hearing what I did today, I think he deserved it. So.
Yeah.
They called him electric, and Kirk said all these unbelievable catches he's making and everything. So
yeah, he said he had one in particular that stuck out in his mind. Pretty much grabbed it before it hit the ground.
Three seniors starting at wide receiver.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, where we go? Okay, well, on this one it goes to tight ends. I don't think there's any surprise here. Addison Estringa, Zach Ortworth, and Hayden Large in that order. I don't think that's a surprise at all.
I will quote Kirk today. He said that, no surprise on the top two. And he said Hayden Large is so improved and is going to play a lot of snaps. And he said the fourth tight end, I didn't think he'd say this, but he said Bonamay's our fourth tight end. He's ahead of Burt. And then then he said, and this is something Lester said this summer, and people don't believe it because they have three starting wide receivers on the depth chart. Kirk said the majority of the time we will have multiple tight ends in the game, which means there will not be three wide receivers on the field the majority of the time. And Lester told Doctorman this summer, 55 to 65% of the time, we're going to have two or three tight ends on the field. And if you watch the 49ers play, you realize that they hardly ever have three wide receivers in the game because the 49er offense is not a pass happy offense. It's a run the ball offense. So
if we see three wide receivers in the game, that means we're trailing with the clock going out and we're going for a Hail Mary.
I think that, we'll still have 40% of the time have three wide receivers on the field.
Yeah.
Be jet sweeps and we'll pass the ball more but anyway.
Okay. So we're coming up to the left tackle. On this chart it says Jack Dotzler or Trevor Locke, but I believe he said today, right now, Trevor Locke is number 1 and Dotzler's number 2. Did I hear that right?
He said he expects that. He said early in the week, Dotzler, he says it's an everyday thing. And he says it'll be an everyday thing probably most of the season. He said one guy has 3 great practices better than the other guy, so I put Dotzler number 1. And then he said the last 2 days, Trevor Locke has been, he thought, better. So he's going to start probably. So, but he said they'll probably split time Saturday.
Yeah. And Bryce George is at number 3. Not a surprise from everything we've been hearing about camp. He's just not picked up on the speed of the game.
Well, but George is also the backup at 2 other positions. Mm-hmm. At left guard and right tackle, he's the backup, along with Dotzler at right tackle. But
yep, I didn't get there, but that's what I got. I got Bo Stevens and Leighton Jones. Hey, at left guard. Hey, guys, I don't know if you guys saw the article by Chad Lysicle today. I think it was Bo Stevens he wrote about the mental issues that he has going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't even know about it until he got to college.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wouldn't open for me. And then Bo Stevens, also the guy that had a little concussion earlier in the season for Kids Day and didn't play.
Okay, so he's okay now. Center, of course, is Logan Jones. That's what we expected. Michael Malinsky is his backup, which we kind of expected. Then at right guard, we got Caden Pieper, a starter, and you brought that up earlier in the show. Lucas Algier is a true freshman who's backing him up.
Yeah, and then Kirk made the statement today that the only true freshman that'll green light to play Saturday is Nathan McNeil. So Algier's the second right guard, but he pretty much said he ain't gonna play. So
yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know how they're gonna work that out, but they will.
Well, they got plenty of depth.
Yeah, I think that I hear today they're trying to get like 7 starting quality people for that line. Alrighty. Of course, Jennings Dunker, no surprise. And of course, for the right tackle, and of course, backed up by either Jack Dotzler or Trevor Locke. So it sounds like Dotzler and Trevor Locke are going to actually see a lot of playing time this year. No matter what. It sounds like they're going to be on the field quite a bit.
And then there's another backup right tackle, Cannon Leonard, who's 6'9", and he weighs 315 pounds. They just want him he's a year away. He's at 350. When you're 6'9" and you want to be an offensive lineman, you got to weigh more than 315. because you're so tall,
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And so, all right, now that brings us back to the wide receivers. Seth Anderson, I'm not surprised. I know a lot of people are concerned because he hasn't played a lot because of injuries, but he's there. And Cajun Weegan is his backup. I hope they actually use him as a wide receiver this year, because last year his name would appear on the line a lot, but they would just give him the ball on jet sweeps. And so, all right. And then the other wide receivers are Jacob Gill and KJ Parker. I'm not surprised to see Parker. And of course, I'm not surprised to see Jacob Gill at the one spot there.
Yep.
QB, no surprise here, Mark Gronowski. And I think if anybody had been following Hawkeye football, the interviews and everything, you knew that Hank Brown was the backup. So if you're shocked that he's the backup, then you weren't listening. Okay, running back. This one surprised me. We got Kari Moulton or Terrell Washington Jr. at number one running back, and Xavier Williams or Jazian Patterson at the number 2 spot. So we got 4 running backs that are listed, and then yet he comes out and says that the only freshman that's going to get green lighted is McNeil. The 5th.
Well, that's because 6 running backs will play Saturday. The only one that won't will be that Braden Jackson, the walk-on freshman.
Yeah. Well, this Xavier Williams must be really, really good.
I'm not surprised, because I follow what the coaches said in the spring and up into fall. Lester over and over again said Moulton is great, and he said TJ, I call him TJ Washington. He said TJ Washington is like super. He said he plants a foot in the ground, makes a cut, and off he goes. He catches passes. He's just an all-around back. And then he kept bragging up Xavier Williams all the time. Probably the best hands on the team, and he's obviously the hardest to bring down. And I think Patterson just hasn't had the big flashes, but he's a solid running back. I knew Nathan McNeil was like amazing flashes, but all along I thought he's going to be your 5th running back because he doesn't know the offense is good. He's got a lot to learn yet, But
well, here's the thing. I think with running backs and wide receivers and tight ends, sometimes even if they don't run the right route or know the right hole to hit, let the talent take over. Get open, like a wide receiver, tight end. Just get open. If you can't find the route, get open. Gronowski will get you the ball. If you're a running back and so they're trying to guard you for another hole, the hole's not there, go find another hole. Talented guys do that. And that's something that I was not used to, is that they're always trying to follow the script more than they are using their talent.
Well, that's not the way football works. That's why Caleb Brown ain't playing wide receiver at Iowa. If you don't go where you want to, and that's why Caleb Johnson got benched a lot his first 2 years, because you got the quarter. You can't get the quarter. If you're the running back, you cannot get the quarterback killed, if it's passing down, and you got to be in the right spot, because if you go out there and turn the wrong direction, the quarterback throws before a guy is in the spot. And if he turns the wrong way, and then it's a pick 6 going the other way, you just can't. Right. They don't do that. You got to play the guys that are your best, that are playing right and playing the best. If you don't, you're going to lose your locker room. That's all them guys that are ahead of McNeil, if they go ahead and play McNeil, even though he isn't doing things quite right, they're going to bye-bye Iowa or give up on the team. You can't do that. That's my opinion. But.
All right. Well, Michael Marin says that Joe Evans was cut in Philly. Did you say that earlier today?
No, because I didn't keep track of it today. I had too much Hawkeye news, and I told you some of them that I'd heard. Like Steven Stellanos got cut by the Lions as a tight end. But a lot of them, this was the first time he was really given a chance in the NFL. And most of these guys that got cut will get signed back by the team that cut them or by another team's developmental squad, probably.
Yeah. Excuse me. What about the 49ers? I can't remember who was there for the 49ers.
Well, Colby made the team, and surprising was Mason Richmond. Hey, Kittle made the team too. I know that's shocking.
Oh, wait a minute. I wasn't even thinking Kittle. I was trying to think of the second guy on that team.
Connor Colby, I told you.
Yeah.
And Mason Richmond was shocking. He was supposed to get cut by the Seattle Seahawks as a rookie guard and tackle, but he made the team. I'm really happy for Mason. And then
KJ?
Jamari Harris got cut. Lachey made the team so far. What
about KJ?
Well, hell, he's probably going to be the starter for Pittsburgh.
Okay, all righty. So let's keep moving on.
I think Castro might have got cut, but
okay, let's keep moving on. Next show on Sunday, we'll find a segment for those. All righty. On the defensive end, left end, Maxwell and Brian Allen, not surprised. Left tackle, Aaron Graves, Will Hubert, not surprised. Right tackle, Bryce Hawthorne and Jonah Pace. Wow. I thought both of those were kind of behind. I did not realize that they pretty much are going to be manning that right side. Okay. Right end is Ethan Herkett and Kenneth Merriweather.
Yep.
Cash is Zach Lutmar and Cone Etchinger. Okay. Leo is okay. I haven't seen it called Leo before, have I?
Leo's the linebacker position when we aren't using a cash. That would be Rex Roth and Van Kekerix.
Yeah, I haven't heard of Van Kekerix anyway. Okay.
Oh, he's from Northwestern Iowa, just like Cooper DeJean and them. He was a star, number 23. If you watched the Hawkeyes last year on special teams, I bet he led the special teams in tackles and all that stuff.
At the middle linebacker, we have two Jaden Harold and Jaden Montgomery. And I believe that Jaden Montgomery's name was brought up quite a bit, so I'm not surprised.
It's the tightest race in the linebacker race. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, come on. Get off of there. Dude. Okay. All right. At the other linebacker, we got Kason Scherer and Jackson Rethroth.
Yeah.
Okay. Left corner, I'm not sure about this. TJ Hall and then Jalen Watson and Asheed Barrows.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I got a feeling Jalen Watson will have that starting spot from TJ Hall.
Jalen Watson is the backup cornerback at both positions. And and Kirk said today in his news conference that, the cornerback positions will probably have 4 or 5 different starters during the season. It's an open competition, just like the safety position. Entringer's the backup at cash and both safeties. He's actually a co-starter with Nwampa, I think, over there.
Yes.
And so Phil Parker, that's the biggest news out of these two deeps, is that the whole secondary is a competition. It's a competition between them 3 safeties to see who's on the field and where. And it's Nwampa just has to play smarter. He's a tremendous talent, but and at the cornerback positions, there are 5 guys that are competing, and I think there's more than that. And Phil will jerk you off the field pretty fast. So
and Deshaun Lee won the other corner spot.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, back up, like you said already, Jalen Watson and Rashid Godfrey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Of course, there's no question on who the place kicker is, Drew Stevens, and who the punter is, raised
Mhm.
egg, and that's all they listed. However, everybody wanted to know about the long snapper. Kirk said today it's Ike Spelt. How do you say that? Spelts?
He says it's a competition, but Speltz will be doing both snapping jobs to begin the season. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I thought somebody came back in for that spot. Who was that?
We have a Worrell, a transfer from Boston College, but right now he's slightly behind Speltz. But that could change. One bad snap. That's how Mike Elkin was a snapper for 4 years at Iowa. He was the backup snapper in the Iowa State game to begin the season, and a bad snap by the starter, and Elkins went in there and never gave up the job again. So
Yeah.
I seen that Kirk said today that Wetchin's obviously the returner, but he mentioned Phillips as the other guy most likely. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I did want to mention that the captains for the game this week are Herkett, Ectringer, Logan Jones, and Gronowski. Okay.
yeah.
But
And
I thought
Kirk almost never changes them during a season. So.
Yeah, I know. They usually say the same.
Mhm.
Kid captain is a 9-year-old named Nolan Stevenson.
Mhm.
Quite the story there for him. So he was talking about today how this depth chart is pretty fluid. Kirk
Yep.
was, and he said some names are in permanent ink, but a lot of them are in pencil. He says, I learned a long time ago to use a pencil with the eraser because then you can erase it and nobody can say you actually said it.
Yeah, he said that that's the way. When he went to the NFL, it was different. When he went to the NFL, they were all in pencil, and he asked them why, and they said because we have good backups and nobody's guaranteed nothing, and Kirk likes that,
Mhm.
But there's guys that are in ink, Dunker and Logan Jones and Stevens and Pieper. Them guys are in ink, unless they get hurt, But.
Okay. That's about all the notes I had right now.
I'm
So,
trying
yeah.
to think of any other interesting. Not really. He said this wide receiver thing. We got 6 of them listed, but he said 8 of them will play. So
Yeah. And didn't I tell you that that early on? I thought
Yeah.
I was comfortable with 8. I think I got one wrong though. I think I put one in the top 8 and somebody else was actually in there in Kirk's mind, I think.
I guarantee you the coaches love Bowie and Dayton Howard. That's the 2 that aren't on there.
Yep.
And they love both them guys.
They will be playing, yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna try to get close to wrapping this up, but I just wanted to talk briefly about some soccer.
Mhm.
Okay. The number 9 Hawks blanked Western Michigan 2-0. There's you can see one of the girls who scored. In that game, a freshman got her first score. All righty, and this shows that their next game is. Can you read that? Okay. Looks like it's tomorrow or Thursday. Thursday against Loyola Chicago, and then they're going to move on to. They're coming home to play St. Louis on Friday night, so their turnaround is really great. So
That's Beth's old school, ain't it?
I don't know. I never paid
I
attention.
think so.
Okay,
That's
but
where she went to school, and then she coached, and then
yeah. Now
athletic.
I kind of cropped this out a little bit, but one of those games is on ESPN Plus, and the other one's on BTN Plus. I imagine that the previous game that I said, this one, is on ESPN Plus because it's not a home game. ESPN is not allowed to do any Big Ten home games. So that's St. Louis. So right now they are 2-1 or 1-1. I think they're 1-1.
They're 2-1.
2-1.
They beat
Okay.
Western. They beat a very, very, very good team that's favored to win their conference. I think it was Western Michigan, like the day before yesterday, and
Yeah, I
they
watched that whole
lost.
game.
The team that beat them is now number 5 in the country, TCU or whoever it was, and then they upset Arkansas. The one at Arkansas, that highly rated team.
Yeah, 2-0. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that other team that they lost to, TCU, they were very, very good team. Now I bring this up. Volleyball is opening up its season in Las Vegas, and hopefully Molly and I are going to do a separate show on women's sports so that we can totally focus on football on this show. But I bring this up because I see that they're playing against Cal State Bakersfield, who's right here in my hometown. I just wish it was right here in our gymnasium, but it's in Las Vegas, unfortunately. Darn it.
I got 2 things I have to bring up that'll be quick.
Okay, let me finish this real quick, and then you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and of course, right here is just more of the volleyball in this challenge that they're going to, the Rebel Challenge at UNLV. Okay, and one final thing I wanted to bring up, and I couldn't find a lot on this because it's not actually, it must be a club sport, Iowa field hockey. And as we guys know that followed sports for a long time, they open up their Thursday night too. But Iowa field hockey has always really been a good team. But when I went in to get more information about them today, they aren't even listed under women's sports.
They are not a club team. They're on scholarships and very highly ranked every year.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. And it makes me wonder why they're not listed on the
I don't know.
under women's sports. Somebody dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, they had the highest rated freshman in the country last year from the Netherlands. And by the way, that women's soccer team, one of their best players is in a walking boot and hadn't played yet. You know.
Ours?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're even better.
Yeah.
Can I do my 2 things yet, or are you done?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead, and
Because
then
I'm
we'll
going to
sign
forget
off.
them.
We'll sign off.
Kirk named earlier. Kirk named Dotzler, the guy in the battle at left tackle and backup right tackle. He says he is the most improved player on the team this year, and he said he had a great spring until the spring game, and he forgot about his technique half the day because he was so nervous. And then the other thing that I told you it shocked me, which Kirk said this in bowl prep last year. He said, we do less hitting because there's the old fable that Iowa does more hitting in practice, and that's why they have injuries. He says, we do less hitting than any team in the nation. And I thought, what? You know? And then today he said, we have not done any live tackling since January. And I was like shocked. I thought, what? You know? And he said, no, we can't anymore. There's too many concussions. There's too many injuries. And we only got, we don't have the great big squad anymore. So they haven't done any tackling. You know, if you've seen a kid's day where somebody got hit, it was just, they just got bumped in too hard. It wasn't a real tackle, you know.
No, it's
and
pretty much
that's just like, I did a quote on On3 Swarm thread. I told people this because no reporter reported it. You know, it came up in the transcript. You know, I read everything. And I said in the Swarm thing, this is shocking to me. And I said that. And I said, now everybody is like Bobby Sanders, because Bobby Sanders, after 2 weeks at Iowa, he was not allowed to hit anybody anymore the rest of his career in practice.
Everybody.
Yeah. So those were the 2 things I wanted to get out there. I thought that was interesting as hell, you know.
All righty. So let's get out of here. We're going to come back. Next time you see us, we will have played a football game, and we're going to discuss that football game. And so Paul will join us, and maybe he'll get a new computer by then. Who knows? But anyhow.
I got a question. Is our schedule going to be Sunday, and what's the other day that we're going to do?
For now, it'll be Tuesday.
Sunday and Tuesday with only, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I have to do it that way for now. Partly because of my own personal schedule right now.
okay.
Okay. I hope to get back to Wednesday real quick. So
You did
All
a
right,
great
guys.
job. You did a great job tonight, Dean.
thank you. So did you.
Yeah.
All righty, guys. Thank you for watching. You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Leave a comment and share it.
Swarm. Give to the swarm.
There you go.
Yep.
We're all set. All righty.
Mhm.
Go Hawks. Beat Albany.